what's up? Hello. I am here to introduce you to my K-pop journal. Yay! I started this K-pop journal mainly because I finished my BTS memory journal, which some of you might know I was doing that throughout all of 2017. On the front of my journal, I just have these little fan art stickers that I got in group orders and some washi around here just so I know what the front is and it's not as boring and just black, you know, that's boring. And then on the back, I have some stickers I got as little freebies from orders and stuff. So that's all there is to see on the front and back of this journal. In the front, I wrote down when I started this journal, and that was November 6th. So this isn't really me starting my journal, it's more me showing you what I've been doing before I got the courage to show you what was going on with my journal. I decided to have a calendar in mind, even though I know it's not really necessary and this isn't a bullet journal or anything like that. I simply just want to write down comebacks and things I'm looking forward to. Like if I'm watching a drama, I would keep track of it in here, and then different comebacks and things like that. That's pretty much what this calendar is for. Or if there's like an award show, birthday, things like that I want to write down, I will keep it in this journal on these calendars. So for November, I did kind of a floral thing with some deeper berry-like tones. Yeah, my first few spreads were kind of lackluster and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I pretty much was trying to do my spread similar to what other people do and kind of bring in different elements that I liked from other people and try and make it work for one spread, and it kind of didn't exactly work in my favor. I really love what I did with the Hani and her purple, and I pretty much just talked about how much I love her purple hair and how I love Jisoo's purple hair. In 2017 was a great year for purple hair. These little interactive peek out little things are because I messed up. I started planning for December before I finished planning for November, so then I have all these things printed out that I didn't get to talk about, so I just added these little inserts in here to, you know, talk about them just briefly. There you go. But a spread that I did like was the next one, which I talked about BTS in the USA. It's simple, but it's definitely more my style than the other page was, so that's all that matters. Next we have December. The spread is just very simple, and I was definitely getting more the hang of what I wanted this journal to be about. I have so many spreads for December. Oh my gosh, like I was just on a roll. I didn't know when to stop to film and be like, hey, I have a K-pop journal, let me introduce you. This is the season I wanted to introduce BTS. This cute picture they had from one of their Japanese endorsements, I think. Then I talked about Mama briefly, but then I wanted to talk about Mama again. So I made another page and I talked about BTS and I talked about Red Velvet, and I kind of just have like these interactive pieces where I just talked more about their performances. Now the next spread is definitely the turning point and one that I love so much. So this was about the Melon Music Awards, and I talked about Yoongi winning Hot Trend Producer, and of course he is my bias, so yeah, he got his own page for that. Like, of course, like why wouldn't I talk exclusively about him, because he's my favorite and he's so cute getting that award. Like I was in love, and it was beautiful, and I cried and I was so happy for him. And yes, but then I have this card which you pull out and it's a picture of BTS with all of their awards, and then on the back side I just wrote down all of the wins they had for that day. Then on this page I have this bookmark that I got recently and I just stuck it in there, but it has Yoongi and Jimin on it, so of course I have to use it. I decided to have a page where I talk about my favorite songs of that month, because I found that a lot of times I listen to songs and I really like them, but then I forget about them and I don't come back to them and I don't remember to download them. Jin's birthday, and I think this spread, this whole page just looks so good to me. I don't care what you think, it looks amazing. I think that I picked the perfect pictures for Jin. Like, I didn't really plan on these 3 pictures looking good together. I just knew that I loved this picture, but then I was like, ooh, this was a really great picture. They posted on Twitter, and then I was like, okay, this is just a cute one to fill the space. But it ends up looking really nice all together. For his birthday, I wrote a little dad joke. I googled it. It's not the best dad joke, but what goes up and never comes down, and the answer is your age. Ha ha ha. Okay, anyways. Next, I talked about Red Velvet and Perfect Velvet because I got this album in December. So I went through the album and I talked about all of the songs, giving a little more attention to the title track because I talked about the song itself and then the music video, which I'm so happy they actually got a legit music video instead of just in front of a green screen. Like, thank you SM for actually using a budget on them. Thank you, they deserve it. They deserved it long ago. I also got Hyze's album. I don't know if this, I never looked to see if this album actually has a title, but the one with the dash 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 lines. I finally got this in December. I wrote about all of the songs on her album, which, as you can tell, I clearly love this album. Then I talked about the Luna Girl, number 10. I pretty much just love to talk about the Luna Girls because I'm anticipating their debut so much this year. I'm really curious as to how their sound is going to be, so I'm constantly just going to talk about it. 2018 goals and my K-pop wish list. I was thinking about doing a video for this separately, so I'll probably go into each bullet then if I end up doing it. But I also used the same advertisement that I used for this page here because I had more snow to show. And the green, I just think it all tied together perfectly. Red Velvet ended their Peekaboo promotions, and so I made a spread talking about their fashion because I think that Peekaboo is literally the best era for Red Velvet, especially styling wise. They have been put in some very horrible outfits. They have been put in kind of like laughable outfits, I guess, but because it's Red Velvet you don't laugh, but like they are kind of, you know. I really loved all the styling they had for this era. It was just hitting it out of the park. Their stylists definitely got that. The thigh-high boots, the sequins, the sheer tops, it was just beautiful all around, and I had to make a post dedicated to their fashion and how I am living for it, definitely. In December, I was also introduced to The Boys, which is a new boy group. I don't know, I love them. I am ready to give into the lifestyle, but my bias is Kevin, and so I wrote a little spread about him and everything that I knew about him and what made me totally decide that this is my guy, this is who I'm going to love. I love all the other boys, but Kevin. It's Kevin, guys. I did a little appreciation spread for Yoongi and Jimin, my top 2, my alts, my loves. I just wrote about them and how I hope that they had a wonderful 2017 and how I hope that their 2018 is also wonderful. Then I wrote about Champion, which was the surprise track from Fall Out Boy and Namjoon, which no one saw coming, and it's such a great song. I play it all the time. It's one of my top played songs already, and I don't know how that happened, but it did. These were kind of impulsive, and normally I probably won't do spreads for like every single person who has a birthday, because that's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of space, and it's gonna get repetitive of what I'm going to say to them. But I wrote a spread for Kokung and Nayoung because their birthdays were so close together, and I just found it appropriate to write about them, and I don't know, it was just impulsive, like I said. I did write briefly about Jonghyun, and I couldn't avoid not writing about it. It's something that happened, and so I did, and I just wrote a letter to him. As 2017 was ending, I wrote a post for my top artists, and I just kind of said everything that I love that happened this year off the top of my head, and some things that I didn't like, some things that I hope will change in 2018, and just wishing all of them the best in upcoming year. And of course I had to make a spread for Taehyung and his birthday, and it's the last post that I have for 2017. I really wanted to show you guys at least the start of it and how I was so motivated to do it after I finally found my groove and I started just doing spreads the way that I want to do them and not really trying to follow what majority of people do for their spreads, which is probably my biggest advice to anyone who wants to start a K-pop journal or is thinking about it, that you should just start it. Just get a notebook and just start writing about everything that you love that happens, everything that you hate that happens. Having a place to write those things feels like you're talking to someone, you know? And sometimes you don't always have people that you can talk to about certain things, especially in K-pop, so having some type of outlet is always good. It doesn't have to be fancy, or you don't have to have the best pens, you don't have to have the best pictures in it, you don't even have to have the best quality notebook. You could just start it in a regular old spiral notebook if you want to. Anything that you have, I just think that it's really great to write about the things that you find important, and then it'll be fun to look back at it throughout the year and see what all happened in K-pop and how you were feeling at one point and how your mood might change later. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm really excited to see how this journal goes for me. Alright, but that is everything in my journal. I hope you look forward to more spreads and flip throughs. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!